Quick disclaimer at the start, I'm not trying to lecture anybody about eczema or claim that I've been through the worst of it at all. I know that people have been through much worse than me. I just know I've had a really difficult experience and I would love to share it. I'd love to hear other people's thoughts on it. If I could spread awareness to anyone that doesn't know much about living with severe eczema, living with allergies, being a mum with these health conditions, and how I've struggled through it, how I'm still struggling through it, how life can be wonderful and then life can be really tough. I really admire anyone else who's got through this, who's battling it, who's been through much worse than me. I've seen some people online and I just think, wow, you're such an inspiration and so brave to share it. And I want to be brave too. I'm recovering from severe eczema for 2 to 3 years. I want to talk today about what I went through and the implications of that. Unfortunately, when my children were weaning onto solids, they would have their hands all over me. I developed very severe allergic reactions to all the foods that they were weaning onto because I have over 100 food allergies. Even without breastfeeding, it would have been an issue, but especially as they always wanted to be skin to skin. My skin suffered enormously. I came up in hives every day. I scratched them, it scarred. I was very self-conscious. And the more stressed I was about my skin, the more I would scratch it, the worse it got. And it became a vicious cycle to the point where even when my children were fully weaned onto solids, breastfeeding was over, I had terrible skin and I couldn't get out of the itch scratch cycle. It was all over my body. Itching, of course, everywhere, uncontrollable, irresistible urge to scratch. There are no words in describing how itchy I was. It was all over my body. Burning from overusing steroids, overusing topical steroid withdrawal, something that my doctors never mentioned to me, something that no one has ever mentioned to me, but I have learned from social media and done my own research and realised that's what I have also been going through. That involves the burning when I was overusing them, burning when I stopped using them. Flaking skin, you think it's healing, it just flakes and then flakes again and again and again and again and again. Still itching, very dry, very sore, eczema coming back again and again, and the urge to scratch, and then you scratch and the eczema gets worse. Infections, I had about probably 5 last year. When I had an infection, it was because I had scratched the skin so much, and then obviously something got into the skin. I would then get spots within a day. It would be all over my body. You just have to touch one part of your arm and then it's on your legs and then it's on your face, and I would just have spots everywhere. So I had to have antibiotics for those multiple times. Flaking skin to the point where I would exfoliate because I thought I can't go out covered in this flaky skin, it's disgusting, it's embarrassing. And actually the flaky skin also makes me itchy. But of course, exfoliating irritates the skin too, especially if you over exfoliate and then you just start scratching it. Feeling incredibly low about my appearance, about me as a mum, and my mental health was hugely affected. Very sore after scratching, stinging after scratching because my skin was raw and exposed and often bleeding, and putting cream on that or getting it wet when I washed my hands, tried to wash up, give my kids a bath, was horrendous pains. I had more allergic flare-ups because my skin was so thinned from the steroids and from scratching, so vulnerable. It still is very vulnerable, especially in my arms, that I would come up in hives all the time, every day. I still do. I take antihistamines every day now because I'm still healing. I've always had allergies. I would often get rashes, but never to that extent. Talking about this is making me feel quite emotional actually, and I think I'm only scratching, excuse the unfunny pun, the surface. Breastfeeding for me was really important. I was so excited to become a mum. I loved breastfeeding. I had a girl first, my little Polly. I was so blessed to have such an easy baby during COVID when we were stuck at home alone so much of the time. My husband got to spend a lot of time at home and it was just really special. But during the weaning phase, she was a boob girl, she loved the boob. And when I gave her all the foods that I'm allergic to over 100 foods. I did see an allergy specialist to make sure it was safe to introduce these foods, just to clarify that. When she was eating all the foods I can't eat, fish, eggs, nuts, chickpeas, sesame, the list goes on and on and on. She would then have her hands all over me. And I know that some people might think, well, why did you breastfeed? Because if there's even a small chance that helps prevent my children from getting allergies, I will try it. I will try anything. Also, I really enjoyed breastfeeding. It's a really special memory. I loved it. It's not for everyone, but it was for me. And I'm glad I did it. I actually pulled through during that weaning process, because she was quite an easy baby. Yes, I came up in hives. It was really hard not to scratch it, but my skin healed. I stopped breastfeeding by the time she was 1. I went back to work and everything was kind of okay. And then I got pregnant again and I had a little boy, and he's lovely. Cried more, needed mummy more, upset if he's left by himself. All the normal things. But unfortunately, when you're stressed and you have developing worse eczema, it's harder to manage the itch, and I started scratching, especially when I started to wean him. The stress and that, combined with having hands which have been touching fish and nuts and everything else all over me, I just got worse and worse, and I had 2 kids to look after. During that whole year of maternity leave, I was wearing fingerless gloves all day. I used to even make makeshift bandages for my arms by getting cotton socks and cutting the ends off them, so I didn't have to look at my arms or touch my arms. I had a don't look, don't touch ethos in my head, but then you just start doing it anyway. Even when you cover yourself up, you then just feel rubbish about the way it looks. It doesn't look very nice, does it, wearing bandages and gloves? I couldn't give my kids a bath most of the time when they were toddlers. I couldn't wash up. I couldn't cook. I couldn't be all of these really wonderful things that I wanted to be as a mum, that I dreamed about being for most of my life. I was absolutely desperate to be a mum. I can't even put that into words. And my children have made me so happy, and I'm so proud of them. And it's just the most beautiful thing being a parent. But then I didn't prepare for any of this. I didn't expect any of it. And I used to blame myself. I was so full of guilt and like it was my fault, because ultimately when you scratch it, that's why it gets worse. The urge was so difficult to fight, and often I would give in to the itch, and then I would tear myself to pieces, and then afterwards I would be so guilty and ashamed of myself for giving in and thinking this was not worth it. Why did I do it? I became obsessed with my skin. I developed OCD. I was totally consumed by the way I looked, by my skin, that it was a habit I couldn't break. I would look at it all the time. Going into the office was a nightmare. Dead skin flaking off my skin all the time onto the desk, which was very visible. I had to moisturise every single hour, even half an hour. I still have to moisturise very regularly. I had to moisturise so often that my arms were really greasy and the desk just looked really oily, and it was just embarrassing. It's still a problem actually, but it was really embarrassing. I just thought, gosh, I just look so disgusting. I'm not trying to say that people with eczema are disgusting. It's just how I felt. I felt so vulnerable and trapped, and I just hated all of it. I couldn't be supportive as a mum, as a wife, the way I wanted to be. My children, when they wanted to give me a cuddle, I often had to back away, because even their hair would irritate my skin and make me want to scratch it. I had such bad eczema on my neck, my face, anywhere. But if it's here and they're cuddling you around your head and their hair is around your face, it is so itchy, and I couldn't manage it. I just thought I need my own space. If they had their arms around me and all the bits that are sore, I couldn't stay calm in those moments. I mean, often with eczema, it's about trying to stay calm, and that's how you don't scratch it. But when you've got kids running around, even if it's like a fun thing, not necessarily children that are being difficult, the moment my adrenaline goes up, I start to feel itchy. I was in this constant state of trying to stay calm, don't scratch. I would say I thought about scratching, not scratching, 95% of the day, if not more. I was thinking about it all the time. Don't scratch, and then the word scratched in your head, and you just want to do it more. Mirror avoidance. If I looked in the mirror, I then felt horrendous. I just saw how much I'd been through and the lack of sleep. I was so worried about people thinking I looked really old because I had such wrinkly, sore skin. I couldn't put makeup on. I would have an oat bath, and then after the oat bath I'd be scratching anyway. I just can't even put into words how low it was. And my children were picking up on the fact that mummy had bad skin, and that's all they could really associate with me. My little girl, Polly, she would come in and pretend she was a doctor, and she had medicine for me with the Duplo, and she wants to be a dermatologist when she grows up, which is the most heartwarming thing in the world. My little boy, Milo, he has eczema. When you're already itchy and you're seeing your child scratch, and I'm telling him not to scratch, but I'm feeling itchy watching him scratch, and sometimes I'm like, don't scratch, and I start realising I'm doing it. and it's not helping him, it's not helping me, and I'm setting a bad example. I struggle as well when I've got very sore skin moisturising him. There's a slightly different moisturiser to me, and the one that he uses makes my skin a bit itchy. And I'm trying to moisturise him, and he's sort of grizzling, doesn't like it, especially on a cold day. The cream's cold. And I'm trying not to get myself flared up. Every night, I had to moisturise multiple times during the night, so I got barely any sleep. And in the morning, the bed would be covered in dead skin and blood. And the sheets were so creamy that I just had to change them, because when the sheets are all covered in cream, that actually irritates me as well. I need fresh, clean cotton sheets. When I went to stay with family, I had to bring my own bedding because I could no longer sleep in sheets that weren't 100% cotton. I was wearing the most hideous clothes, and I'd have to change them every few hours because I got them covered in cream. I was wearing the thickest ointment. It took so long to dry that I couldn't wear anything. I would work in my underwear, and then once I was finally dried, I had to put more on. And the other thing is, the ointment would highlight all my wrinkles on my skin, so I would fixate on it more and just think, gosh, it's so wrinkly, I look awful. I just felt disgusting. I'd put makeup on in the morning and think, okay, I feel all right, but then by lunch it was crusting off because my skin was constantly in a state of healing. I didn't see friends for months and months. I had to cancel so many social events. I couldn't go into the office. I struggled to go in for a while, and I sat there like a shell of a person at my desk, not talking to anyone, wearing my gloves. My hands were so raw. I felt revolting. And I wasn't living life. I wasn't happy. I'm just trying to summarise it as concisely as I can. I know people have been through worse than this, but this is my experience, and I feel so much better. I can wear makeup again, I can wear a nice dress. I never thought I'd be wearing a dress like this again. I do have scars, but gosh, at its worst, I just couldn't see light at the end of the tunnel. I really couldn't. I still get flare-ups. The skin still flakes on my arms, especially at the moment, but I just really want to share this. I just have this urge to share it with people and talk to people about it, and show that to whoever is struggling that this can get better. You will feel good again. You will look good again. You will get through this. And there's so many ways to do it. And it's so hard. It's such a battle. You just get itchy. You look in the mirror and you catch yourself and you think, gosh, I look awful. I've got my little girl who's come in here, Polly.
I was trying to find...
Is my Polly here?
I was trying to find you and Daddy.
You say hello?
Hello.
I'm doing a little video about what it was like living with my really bad eczema. Do you remember when we had... Yes,
it's
darling.
Dottie's birthday tomorrow, and I already made her birthday cake.
Oh, talking about her dollies. Polly, do you remember when Mummy had very bad eczema? Do you remember?
Yes.
And do you remember, what did you used to do to try and make me feel better? Can you remember? And it was really, really bad.
Say, don't worry, it will pass.
Polly would say, don't worry, it will pass. That was so I didn't touch it or scratch it, fixate on it. What else can you remember? What did you used to make with the Duplo?
Medicine.
Medicine, yeah. My little Polly. And what do you want to be when you grow up?
A doctor.
Yeah, what kind?
I want to be a dermatologist doctor.
I love you so much. So lucky to have you. It's really hot today. It's about 27 or something like that. And I got a bit emotional talking about that. The sun's baking in on me through this window, so I'm going to go out and enjoy the sunshine with the kids and have a barbecue and be happy, because it's a good day. It's a beautiful day. Life is getting better, and there's lots more to explore. Skin is a really, really nuanced and complex thing. We've all got different ways of managing it. Anyway, today I'm wearing a nice blue dress. Can you see it? Sorry, the bed behind me is a bit of a mess, but yeah. It's really funny. I said to Polly, do you like my new dress? And she's like, I love it. You look so lovely. You look like you're having a baby. I was like, oh, thank you. I mean, that's not normally a good thing. Oh, bless her. She's such a sweetie. I was thinking, though, if I was pregnant, it'd be a really good dress to wear, but I'm not. But yeah, I'm going to go and enjoy the sun.